Okay, Mr. Chair, we're ready to go.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Deputy Clerk. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Monday, July 4th Committee of Adjustment. Can I have someone call the meeting to order? Moved by Deputy Mayor Jaworski and seconded by Councillor McDonnell. All those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or amendments, Ms. Haley?
No, there are not, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. And approval of the minutes of the June 20th meeting. Can I have a mover? Moved by Councillor McDonnell, seconded by Councillor Luck. All those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. And moving on past the minutes to item number 4, a declaration of pecuniary interests. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 5, new business 14A-2022 a year. Ms. Haley.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. One moment, please. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So welcome everyone this evening to our virtual meeting. For members of the public that are participating by Zoom or by phone, you will be permitted to speak to the respective application following my presentation. Prior to speaking, please state your name and address for the record. If you wish to make a comment, you're welcome to use the raise hand function and the chair will call on you. Or if you have registered to participate in the meeting by phone, you will be asked if you would like to comment on the application after the presentation. I'm now going to read required wording under the Ontario Planning Act. This is a hearing under Section 44 of the Ontario Planning Act. Any person may attend this hearing and/or make written or verbal representation either in support of or in opposition to the proposed minor variance. If a person or public body does not make oral or written submissions at this hearing before the minor variance is decided upon, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the minor variance of the Committee of Adjustment to the Ontario Land Tribunal, also known as OLT. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a hearing or make written submissions to the Committee of Adjustment or the Township of South Glengarry before the minor variance is decided upon, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the OLT, unless in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so. We're going to start off with our first application this evening. It's known as A1422. It's located at part of Lot 4, Concession 1 in the geographic township, and it's addressed as 22092 173rd Avenue. This is a key map of the subject property. This road right here is known as Old Highway 2, and then you can see that the property fronts onto the St. Lawrence River. And then this is a little bit of a closer view of the property, so you can see how long it is going from Old Highway 2 to the waterfront. In the existing dwelling, there's an existing garage here. This is an older photo. I believe the tennis court is now removed. So the purpose of the minor variance this evening is the applicant proposes to construct an addition to the west side of the existing detached dwelling. And this triggers the following relief: to reduce the watercourse setback from 30 meters to 17.13 meters from the St. Lawrence River to the proposed addition, and from 30 meters to 11.15 meters from the award drain to the proposed addition. I'm going to show you a survey that the applicant had completed, and it was great to receive this survey because we weren't even aware of the award drain being located in here. It was just something that was not identified in our mapping. So you can see here the existing dwelling, and the proposed addition is to be located within the established building line of the existing dwelling. So they're simply enlarging it by going to the west. And again, mentioning the award drain here and working with the Conservation Authority, that's when we realized that we also needed to include the watercourse setback for that location as well. And just to let the public know, an award drain is not a municipal drain. So it serves as a bit of a different purpose. So we don't have to treat it as, I guess, as carefully as you would if it was a municipal drain. I do have some photos of the property to show you. So this is the existing dwelling, and you'll see this open area is where the proposed addition will be. This image is taken from the north side of the property. So the waterfront would be over here in front of the house. And I have a couple of more. So this one shows the front yard being I shouldn't say the front yard, I'm sorry, the waterside yard, really the backyard, showing the space between the existing dwelling and deck. And then again, the proposed addition would be located within the established building line. And this is exactly where the addition would be proposed on the subject property. So the property is designated residential district in the county official plan, and it does conform to the general intent of the official plan as residential development is permitted. And the property is zoned residential 1 and floodplain holding, and it does conform to the general intent of the bylaw. I have a copy of the zoning map here just to show you how minimal the floodplain is on the subject property. So you can see that the proposed addition will not be impacted by the floodplain zone, and therefore the removal of the holding was not even required because the development isn't proposed in that location. Oh, there we go. The application was circulated to all abutting property owners within 60 meters of the property and applicable municipal staff. And we are in support of this application and recommend it to be approved. The application was also circulated to the Raisin Region Conservation Authority as well as the United Counties of SDNG because of the property fronting on Old Highway 2. The RSCA has no objections or concerns. They've been involved with the process or pre-consultation with this process from day one. And SDNG had no comments, and I'm assuming that's just because of how far away the proposed development was from the county road. And to date, I've not received any written or oral comments from members of the public. So that's all I have at this time, Mr. Chair. We do have the applicant available if the applicant, maybe she can answer any questions the committee may have that I wouldn't be able to answer. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have 5 folks on. Before I go to members of the public, was there any questions of the committee? Deputy Mayor Jaworski, then Councillor Luck.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. I have a question for Ms. Haley. Could you speak a bit more to what is an award drain and how that figures into watercourse setback discussions? Thank you.
Thank you. I'll do my best to do that. And I've had to get some little bit of training on that from our drainage superintendent, Mr. McDonald's, because we have quite a few award drains or unnamed drains in our municipality that are not known as municipal drains. So those drains would definitely serve as a function to collect water or direct water. And in this particular case, from what I learned from the Conservation Authority, this is an intermittent drain. It doesn't always have fish habitat within that drain. It's not always wet. In fact, it's not overly visible when you're there. Again, I don't think we would have really picked up on it if it wasn't identified in the survey. And then we had to do some digging from there. In this case, I would rely heavily on the Conservation Authority to determine the importance of the drain and the environmental components of it. And in this case, they had no concerns with us reducing that watercourse setback beyond the 15 meters.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Luck.
Thank you through you, Mr. Mayor. Deputy Mayor Jaworski actually took my question. So thank you, Ms. Haley, for answering that. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so we have the applicant on, Ms. Isabel Payor. Ms. Payor, did you want to speak to the application?
No, I think that.
Mute yourself.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Hi.
Yeah.
I think that Mrs. Haley replied to perfect view of the situation. Was meeting with her since September, I guess.
Yes.
And going with that, we wanted to do the extension this year, but unfortunately we didn't have the time for the survey and everything with the lots of people. So we're planning to do it next year. And we're
Okay,
here
thank you very
full-time,
much.
and we're living here full time since this January. So
Okay,
our,
wonderful. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, Ms. Pear. Thank you very much for your comments.
okay.
Seeing no other comments, are there any questions of the members of public? We have quite a few attendees on the meeting. Raise your hand and I'll permit you to speak. Seeing none, Councillor McDonnell, you had your hand up?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. If there's no other questions, I'd be happy to move to approve as presented.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Luck? All those in favor of the motion? Motion is approved. Thank you much. Moving on to A1522 Sauvé, Ms. Haley.
Okay, thank you. So our next application, as you mentioned, is A1522. This property is located at part of Lot 23, Concession 6, in the geographic township of Lancaster, located at 4797 Second Line Road in the settlement area of North Lancaster. So this is the property that's highlighted in black, and the yellow boundary on this map represents the boundary of the settlement area of North Lancaster. So they're almost at the north end of the village, just north of the French Catholic school. And this is an up close image of the property. As you can see here, there's a dwelling, a pool. I understand the well is over here, septic is over here. And then you'll see some, vehicles parked and things like that in the yard. This photo would be from 2019. So the owner proposes to construct a detached residential garage that is proposed to be 297.3 square meters in gross floor area and 6 meters in height. And the following relief from the zoning bylaws requested: to increase the proposed residential garage floor area from 100 square meters to 297.3 square meters, and to increase the proposed residential garage building height from 4.5 meters to 6.5 meters. This is an image that the applicant or owner had provided to us. This area shows the outline of the existing dwelling. It doesn't show the entire structure, but it shows the location of the proposed garage. This is our street view or road view image, which will help put it into perspective. So as you can see, there's some things that are stored outside. I understand they want to be able to place those belongings indoors. And if this is approved, the garage would be located right in this area behind the house. So there's lots of space for lot coverage. It won't exceed that. And it won't be in front of the home. It'll be more tucked away in behind the dwelling. So the property is designated rural settlement area in the county official plan, and it does conform to the general intent of the official plan. And the property is zoned residential 1 and also conforms to the general intent of the bylaw, as we do allow residential detached garages to be constructed. We did notify all the abutting property owners within 60 meters, as well as applicable municipal staff. We support the application. We feel that the size and height will actually fit nicely on the property, that it won't be too overpowering given the proposed location. And to date, I've not received any written or oral comments from members of the public. We do have the applicant on this evening that may be able to answer some more questions in regards to the purpose of the garage and things like that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Ms. Haley, for that. Are there any questions of the committee? Seeing none, does the applicant want to speak to the application? Just unmute yourself. State your
Yes,
name.
Hi, my name is Bridget Sauve. I don't have any questions or any comments. Everything's good. Thank you.
All righty, thank you for that. Are there any other questions or comments from other members attending? There's quite a few on. Councillor McDonnell.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'm fairly familiar with the property, just I guess from the roadside and driving by. It's out in my end of the world. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't approve this as presented, so I'll move to approve.
Okay, thank you for that. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Luck. All those in favor of the motion as presented? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Ms. Haley, I usually do your little blurb about 21-day holding period or something.
Sure. So, so everyone listening online, both applications were approved. You will receive a notice of the decision in the mail, and you will be subject to a 20-day appeal period. And that appeal period will expire on July 24th. And the notices will be mailed tomorrow now that it's been approved. So thank you.
Great, perfect. Do we have a next meeting, Ms. Haley, at our next council meeting, or?
We don't at this time, actually. I have no applications pending that I'm aware of.
Well, don't say that out loud too loud.
You never know when they're going to come in.
Right. Okay, good. So motion to adjourn, please. Moved by Councillor McDonnell, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaworski. All those in favor? Motion has been passed. Thank you all for attending our quick